Hello and welcome, all gays, queers, people of the trans experience, non-binaries, everyone. Welcome to your episode. Well, that was interesting. How are y'all doing? Like really? What's going on with your mental? It's the end of June, it's summertime. See a whole lot of people going out. I don't know why I just looked out of my window like I could see a lot of people. But yeah, like how's everybody doing? I'm feeling pretty good. Things are going pretty well. I'm, falling back into myself, feeling all I feel like that's something everybody always says, that they're coming back into themselves. But that's like true though, like there's so many things that are coming at you at once that you really don't know if you're moving in the right direction that is true to who you are a lot of times. Well, at least that's what I feel. I don't know. How are y'all feeling? I hope you're doing good. Welcome to another episode of Reading and Raging with Charles C. Patton. I'm your host, Charles C. Patton, and let's get right into it. This chapter is a conversation with Desiree Pittman. Desiree is a recent graduate of the esteemed Alabama State University, and she currently works at a nonprofit organization in Alabama where she works with young women of the trans experience with career readiness, resume building, mental health services, and advocacy. She is the full embodiment of what it means to stand in your truth amidst a society, a community, and even a family that tries to deny you at every single turn. I'm super excited for all of you to watch or listen to her story, and I'm sure that someone out there who's going through a similar situation will find some solace in knowing that she went through it and she's on the other side of it. Hopefully, she's able to serve as a testament that there is truly light at the end of the tunnel. Without further ado, here's the conversation, and happy Pride. All right. Thank you so much, Desiree, for agreeing to come on this podcast and talk with me today. I love you so very much. I'm so happy that we know each other, that we got to know each other through that week that we were at HRC. Oh, that was an amazing time. Wish we could go back now, but whatever. Yeah, so how are you doing? How are things? How's your mental doing? Tell me everything.
I am on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm at a 8. And the reason
Okay.
being, is that I lost someone this past Sunday, who was very close to me. She was my rock while I was at Alabama State University, and she passed away due to cancer. And this was somebody who made sure that I was taken care of. Her name was Takesha Braswell, and she was like my mother on campus. And to hear she had passed Monday, and to go to her funeral on Saturday, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm doing what I need to do to take care of myself. So I've taken this week off, to
Okay.
kind of cry or do whatever it is that I need to do to make sure that I'm good. So, but yeah, I'm in an 8, but I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
You know,
Yes. I'm
doing
sorry
this.
to hear about,
I
your
love
loss.
it. I've
Yeah.
seen the first interview, and I so I have to be a part of this. So,
Well, I'm glad and I'm sorry for your loss. Like I can only imagine what that's like, especially like, dealing with what you're dealing with work and everything right now. So I'm glad you're taking time for yourself and to clear your head and everything like that. So that's good. But thank you again. There are so many things that I can say about you and about my experience with you. And it was just always fun and games. Your alter ego, Toni Braxton,
the living
love her,
legend.
the living legend. Yes. But so when we were talking through text message, we wanted to figure out what we wanted to talk about. We knew we wanted it to be something, and you gave me free reign to decide on what we wanted to discuss, which I appreciate. And since it is Pride Month, and I haven't really had to have a good discussion about what pride means and what's been going on and the importance of it and what it means for us personally. I really wanted to have the conversation with you. Since we did meet in an area of service and giving back and all of those things. So I'm really excited to have that conversation with you. But as far as so we like to decide on a word that we want to base the conversation off of, to ground the conversation. And being that we're going to be discussing pride and all those things that come with it, what's a word that you feel encapsulates the feeling of pride and what it means to you?
Fortitude would actually be
Mm,
the word for me, and fortitude means to possess strength. And I think people who live in their individual truths day to day possess some type of strength to be able to continue on no matter the obstacles or what life may throw their way. They're able to push through all of that. So that is a word of mine. Actually, I picked up a little habit from being Mary Jane where she would write the sticky notes
yeah,
on her bathroom mirror, and that is one of the words that are on my sticky notes on my bathroom mirror is fortitude.
I love that. And affirmations every morning.
Yes.
I love that fortitude. You know what? This this pride so far has been, I don't know. I feel like last year we really didn't get that chance to really hone in and celebrate like we usually do
Mhm.
because of COVID. But this year I see the girls are out. I see, people are having a good
The
time with,
children are out. They
they
said
are out.
to get their lives that they did not get last year, and the children are out.
Right.
City child.
And I love to see it. I love it. And when you said fortitude, what does that mean to you? What is fortitude? When you think of fortitude, what does that mean and why did you decide to put that on your mirror?
So, fortitude to me, like I said, it means to possess strength. And I like to think that I'm a strong person, and even strong people are sometimes they need to be checked on. But I like to think back to when I was an undergrad. Um, you know, I transitioned literally in college right before people's eyes, and it was difficult. Like I
Yeah.
had some tough times, and like I said, Miss Braswell, she looked out for me. Like my school did not have any like housing accommodations when it came to people who were transitioning and things of that nature. So they were still housing trans women in male dormitories.
Mm.
So and that was just not it for me. And so Miss Braswell, she put me in the university apartments. I literally had a
Okay.
2 bedroom apartment by myself, and I stayed there until I graduated.
Oh, that's dope.
And so, being able to push through all of that, people are staring. It doesn't bother me at this point, but the
Yeah.
staring and the sly comments, and then you have people who's going to test you at times. And even now into my career, I used to work for Amazon. I was a corporate
Mm.
resources coordinator. And so, there were people who did not like the fact that they had to answer to me.
Mm.
And I basked in that because
I was gonna say, I know you did.
oh yes, I got my life off of it. But I basked in that because
Mm.
people are really, and this is just my observation, especially coming up and transitioning here in the deep south.
Yeah.
Really do not expect people who are a part of our community, the LGBT community, to be successful. For some reason, they just do not expect us to be somebody in life. And so when you hear that, I guess when they heard this, there's a black trans woman, she's going to be, taking over. This is who you report to. Like some people, real deal, had issues with it, and I even had some people quit because of
Are you
that. Because
serious?
I not want to be working under me. And that's fine because the job was still done.
Yeah, I mean, but goodness, you quitting a whole job just because you don't want to work with someone? Like, what? Well, Well, how would you define like pride for you though? I know that like you were just talking about your experience, you started transitioning in college and going through that with the administration, I'm sure, with all the people who did not want to accommodate you and how you should have been treated. And so what does pride mean to you when you think of it and when you think of the community surrounding it?
Pride would be, in my instance, pride would be being able to sit here and tell my story.
Mm, yeah.
That would be pride for me. Being able to be an inspiration to those young ladies that are coming after me, um, so they'll know how, they're supposed to be treated. And um, I think what I enjoy about my job is that I'm able to touch the younger trans women that are coming behind me to let them know that the stereotype that has been placed on us is not what we have to live by. Um, I recently transitioned into another career. Now
Hmm.
a program director for a nonprofit organization as their trans health director. So
Yes.
I'm able to this not disbursement. I oversee funds and how we use them. I come up with budgets as well as programming. And I think the programming that I have designed is to what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying not to be so proper for this now.
Go please.
Um, and I don't think assimilate is the word. Anyway, but I want them to be able to sustain themselves. And I
Okay.
think, and what I mean by that is, a lot of these nonprofit organizations who are designed to help our community, they just give our trans women or people of our community money and just have them go away.
Yeah.
You don't really like solve the real issues
Right. Right.
facing. And so my program designed for my girls is like it's a life class. And I call it the Ascension Life Class because we're moving up, not down. So
I know
we're
that's
moving.
right.
And so what the way I design it is to professionally develop them. We do mock interviews with them. I also help them build resumes. We also buy them their first interview outfit. So whether that's a
Oh,
pantsuit
that's
or whether
awesome.
it's a skirt suit, whichever they feel, in a pair of shoes. Um,
Yeah.
they all get a string of pearls.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yes.
So they get a string of pearls. And so, like I said, we do mock interviews that help them build their resumes, as well as teaching them how to conduct themselves as ladies. Because anybody can be a woman, but everybody cannot be
Be a lady.
a lady. So I always teach them how to conduct themselves as ladies, and
Hmm.
out here in child Trump America, honey.
Right. I was about to
But,
say, yeah, because you in
okay,
Alabama.
so that is what I do, and I find solace in that, knowing that I'm making a change somehow, and I always
Yeah.
wanted the work that I do to be able. I wanted the work that I do impacting other people's lives. Like I want to feel fulfilled when I come home tired. I want to be like, yeah, I did something.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you. I definitely feel you. Now let's take a step back because and then we'll get back into pride and all those things. But so I know a little bit of your story from, having conversations with you and everything, but I do want to go back to like when you were younger, maybe college years or whatever, like reflecting on that and how you came into yourself and really standing strong into who you are today.
I think for me, so my sophomore year in college. So let me be clear. I've always known
Hmm.
that Desiree was here. She was
Period.
always here. Okay. So she's been here the whole time. I just don't think she's been ready. I think she could have been out, but she's here. That's all that really matters now. But I
Right.
think back when I was in college, I had I had two college educated parents. My dad went to Alabama State University, played football, played Omega, da 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 da
Okay.
da.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Yeah. All the things. Yeah.
so moving forward in life, I had went and I started seeing a therapist. And I recommend everybody seeing a therapist because oh my God, you get to put all of
Change
your
your life.
yes, I literally put all of my baggage in my
Right there and leave it.
dissected. This is what I pay you for.
Right.
Get to it. So I was seeing a therapist, and she expressed to me that I had discussed transitioning to her before, and so she brought it back up, and she said, "What is really holding you back?"
Mm.
And so she gave me a worksheet to do. And it wasn't until I did the worksheet and went back to her for my next therapy session. And I
Are you
realized
okay with saying with the worksheet? Do you remember some of the questions or some of the things you had to fill out in the
so
worksheet?
the worksheet, I can't remember. It's like that was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, no.
The worksheet, it was kind of saying like it was a worksheet that was divided into two things, and it had like things that you wanted to do to please yourself and things that you're doing to please
Ah,
other people. It was
okay.
I remember now. And so when I realized that the side that said things that you were doing to please other people was the longest, I
Mm,
understand that yeah, it's time. Because I realized, Charles, that all these years I had been living to please other people and to make them
child.
happy while I was suffering.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
suffering. Do you
And
hear me?
even then, you don't even, at least from my experience, you don't even know that
Yeah,
you are
like I was
suffering.
literally out here in the
Yeah,
world just suffering and did not
yeah,
know it. And it was then that's when I made the decision to transition and start living my life for me.
yeah.
And like ever since then, things have been falling in place. Like when I
It's
graduated,
so interesting, right? How once you start living in your authentic truth and really start like being in who you are, stuff just starts, coming through. Like, of course, you're gonna have
like it just
struggles and
started
stuff, but
falling
yeah,
into place. And so I had started the process of transitioning, and that's when I realized that I had just been living my life to make other people's happy. And then I also realized that these same people that I was living and doing things to make them happy really didn't give a fuck about my happiness.
mm,
And so I was like, yeah. So I just started living for me, and whoever didn't like it, oh fucking well, like bye.
I know that's right.
And
How did?
and so it was hard. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you
Yeah,
it was definitely hard. Some people didn't get on board, and it caused me to have a very strained relationship with my father.
mm,
And so my mother was all on board. Is
mm-hmm.
one of my rocks. Like I don't know where I would be without my mom, but my relationship with my dad was very strained for a while. Because of course he didn't agree with
Yeah,
style, and so you know, I had to, let him know, like, hey, this is it. This is me. Um, the ball is in your court at this point. Like,
yeah,
you can choose not to be active in my life, or you can choose to continue to be an active parent. But as far as me living a lie to make you happy and to please people that you know and save face, it's not happening anymore. And
right.
so our relationship was like strange. Like I'm talking
Yeah.
about going 2 years without speaking to each other.
Wow.
So and
Has it gotten a bit better now?
we are better. It was to the point my therapist told me, she was like, it's okay to divorce certain family members, Charles. And I was literally filing for divorce.
Mm.
My dad. Because my dad, he has said some very
Some off
hurt.
the wall stuff.
Yeah, like, and like it's stuff he said that nobody's ever said to me. So it's like, wow, it's coming out of your mouth. So like,
Yeah.
wow. And even now with um us starting back to try to have a
Hmm.
relationship, it's still like, I don't want to shut the door, but it's like if I crack the door and let you in, what are you gonna do now?
Right.
Proven to me that you are capable of hurting me. And so, like,
Yeah.
why should I let you in now? You see what I'm saying? And so that's
Yeah.
kind of where it is. Even for like Father's Day was this past weekend.
Hmm.
And so he called, and I called him and wished him a happy Father's Day. And he pointed out, and it's so funny because I didn't know he watches me like that. He pointed out that I came home for Mother's Day. I did go home for Mother's Day, and I took my mom to Florida for Mother's Day. But he also pointed out that I didn't come home or get him a gift for Father's Day. And I told him, it's like, when you start acting like a father, that is when I start treating you like
Oh
a
my gosh, I don't know if you probably do, but I don't know if you know just how like incredible that is for you to have that much like self-love and self-actualization to decide like, no, I'm not going to allow someone as close to me, like as far as family is concerned, as my father, to be in my life if there's nothing but toxicity coming from you.
I can't do that. We don't do toxic people. And so, like, I had to let him know, like, when you start acting like a father, I'll treat you like one. And it's just what it is. I have to
Yeah.
protect. Another thing I always say, and my friends will tell you, protect
Hmm.
your peace.
Yeah.
If anybody or anything is disturbing your peace, baby, they got to go. They got to
Yeah.
get the fuck out right now. No, no, okay, well, we'll just put them over here for a minute and say,
Right.
no, you got to go right goddamn now. It's time for you to leave and make your exit because you can't stay here causing confusion and making me upset. You got,
Right.
and it was the point in time when my daddy was doing that. And it was, all right, you got to go. All right, I'll talk to you later. And that's what it was. He was over there. Way over.
How were you able to really do that though? And what I'm asking is like,
So how I
so
was
many.
able to do that. So my dad was my sole provider. Actually, my dad paid for my college. My dad had me on his health insurance. My dad
Mm,
would send me money in school. My dad bought my car.
yeah. I was about
Paid.
to say because there's so many people who
Yeah,
really
and
rely on
so
their parents, especially like in
it
college
wasn't
and stuff.
it wasn't until I got older, Charles, and I had realized like everything my dad asked me to do or did for me, it came with conditions.
Uh,
It came with conditions. Like if I asked for money, he would be like, "Okay, well, I need you to get a haircut, then I'll send you some money, or I need you to cut
wow.
your nails, and I'll send you some money." Like it had became to the point was just like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this," and so that's when I realized I was like, "Yeah, I need to get like my stuff together." And
Yeah.
so when I graduated, like I graduated in the middle of the whole pandemic. So like
Yeah.
COVID broke out in March, our school
Right.
closed, sent everybody home. So I was home for a month. And so like
Mm,
he told me like I have long hair, Charles. Like I know you,
yeah.
but my hair is past my shoulders now. And
Okay.
so he was like, you need
I
to
think
cut.
it was like at your neck or something when we last saw each other or something like
Yeah,
that.
that yeah, it's long now. So like he was like, you gonna have to cut your hair before you move back in my house. I was like, excuse me,
Mm.
Charles. I stayed in the house literally a week, and I got the fuck
I was
on.
about to say because a lot of people were going back to like really
Some
toxic
toxic
homes
ass
and
situation.
yeah,
And so I literally applied to Amazon. So when I first started working at Amazon, I was not always working in HR. I was a regular warehouse worker and
yeah.
making $15
Oh,
an hour. I was
yeah.
doing good. I
Okay.
moved up to Birmingham. I stayed with my brother. He's not my biological brother. We've known each
Yeah,
other. He's been my friend. Like this is my brother. Like he
I
just my
got
mom
you.
didn't have him, but my mama loves him just like he was her son. But I kept moved up here and stayed with my brother in his one bedroom apartment. I literally slept on his house for 7 months.
Mm,
But it
yeah.
was better than staying there being unhappy. I literally went to work every day. I stacked my paper,
Yeah.
and slowly, like he had no control. Like I ended up giving him the truck that he bought me back. I gave that back. I went and bought me a car that I wanted. Not that I had to get, but a car that
Yeah.
I wanted. I want to buy a car that I wanted. I paid my own car insurance. I went and got an apartment. I live downtown in Birmingham, for God's sake. And so I got my own apartment in my name. I literally become self-sufficient, and it really fucked with him because I no longer needed him for anything. He no longer had to.
Right.
And that is how you tell when people have control of you because they start acting a goddamn mess.
Listen, and when you finally became financially independent, you didn't have to ask for anything. You had your own place, you had all that stuff, and it's like, okay, so now you can't control anything that I do, and you really, if you're gonna be in my life, I don't need to be with you. Like, I don't need to be dealing with any of the stuff that you're dealing with. You know what? That to me, because I'm, in certain situations where I'm like, I've been trying to, like, I see certain things that are really happening, especially with this pandemic, and like trying to, and seeing a whole lot of stuff that I didn't beforehand, like with people taking advantage and people, taking, my kindness for whatever. And I'm trying to figure out how to do that with people that I love and still show them that I do love them, but create those boundaries. So that's why I was asking, because
And
that's like,
that's another conversation piece. Setting healthy boundaries with people. That is a conversation piece because I don't think people really know what it means to set boundaries with certain people.
yeah, I don't think so either.
Like, because if you don't set boundaries with people, certain people will just run a damn muck.
Yeah.
Whatever they want to, and it's not okay. So that is why you have to set boundaries with people. That's another conversation piece. Look, that's part 2.
So in college, that's when you started to transition. You started to come really into yourself and accept yourself and really go with it. When did you start to get into this work of advocacy and really helping the community? Because I know that's how we met going into
It was actually
HRC.
when I attended the HBCU summit for HRC. That is when I really wanted and seen people really out here doing the damn thing. And it's just like, I have to be a part of this. And so I always knew that I was going to be end up doing the work that I did, although I did not go to school and earn a bachelor's in what I'm doing.
Same.
Yeah, like I literally went to school and got a 4-year degree in something that I'm not even using now, and it's so funny. But
that's a lot of us.
But I'm working in the social work field. I work for a nonprofit. It's like I would have never known that I would be doing this, but I knew I would be impacting people's lives somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like never like in a million years would I would have imagined the work that I'm doing. I would be in this position in life, doing what I'm doing, happy with my overall life, in a happy relationship with someone. Like I didn't even think I was gonna be in a relationship, Charles, and I have a whole man, like a whole. I have a whole man.
Yes.
Crazy as he is at times, like I have a whole.
But how was that experience because we weren't in the same cohort.
No,
you were in the one before me.
I went in
yeah. How was that experience? That first experience going into that cohort for you?
It was like no other. Anytime that I was in a room with them, there was always love.
Yeah.
There was never any arguing. Who's the most fashionable? It was none of that. People were genuinely loving on each other, and that's what I think is so fascinating about that space, and which is why I'm so glad that Leslie and them are trying to keep it up.
Yeah, and this is for people who don't know, this is a human rights campaign. They have an annual HBCU summit where they invite student leaders or students in the LGBTQI plus community to come in for like 4 or 5 days or something like that.
We were like 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, for like a whole week just to love on each other, to have different seminars and forums, and it's a whole thing, and it's great. That's what she's speaking on right now. But yeah, go ahead.
So my first one it was awesome. I never shared or had been in a space where queer people came together and it was just no bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
I had never had that because the queer people here in Alabama are very catty for some reason. I don't know what it is.
I don't think that's just in Alabama.
Okay, so maybe it's just not Alabama, but like, and I just got to the point. Honestly, Charles, I used to be a person that would go out and support like events and things like that. Mm-mm. And like going back to what I said, I protect my peace. I don't have time for this. So I literally go home. I hang with my crew. Like my brother is actually on his way over here once he leaves the gym and I cook, and so he's gonna eat dinner. We're gonna hang out. But yeah, I don't understand why we have to be so catty. But like that was a space that I had shared with people that I have not had in a minute. Like that feeling, that experience is like no other. And I recommend anybody who wants to advance themselves. And it was also good networking.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like we know some of the top people in HRC.
Yeah.
So I was honored to be chosen to come and attend. That was like really awesome, and I've made some lifelong friends from my cohort. No matter if we like thousands of miles apart, like some of them are in Atlanta, some of them in California now. Like these people are living lives, like, and it's just so awesome to see people blossoming into their adulthood, their individual lives, and so I love it.
And how was the?
I don't think I was a part of your cohort. Was I?
No, because you were 2017. I was 2018.
I came, but I wasn't a part because y'all's was in Atlanta.
We were in Atlanta.
Yeah, I just came to visit. I didn't really. I wasn't a mentor for that one, but
right. But then we both came back.
Yeah.
Following year in 2019, as mentors or committee members or something, the organizer committee to help with that program, and that's where we met.
That's when we met, and so it was just awesome. It's like to know people who are working in these high positions at HRC. It's just awesome. Like that was the best experience I've had, and then I got invited back to the Elevate program, which is directly and specifically for trans women of color.
Yeah, I remember you telling us about that. How was that experience?
Yeah. Oh my God, it was awesome. Like there was a lot of like greatness in that room for it to be a room full of Black trans women. There were a lot of Black trans women who are really out here doing the damn thing. So I thought I was the unicorn. Turns out unicorns. So
turns out there.
Right, I thought I was that girl, but more girls out there. But yeah, it was awesome. We all learned how to start our own organizations, professional development, and mental and self-care. We talked about that. That is when I learned self-care. And baby, when I tell you there is a specific line in my budget for self-care. And I mean, like, they really took care of us and treated us like the women that we deserve to be treated like. Right. They treated us so well. And I met some lifelong friends in there, like some good friends. Like that was like a real awesome opportunity.
How was the time after coming back from HRC and these different what are they called, conferences, coming back to your community in Alabama? How was that transition from going to the conference, being loved on, being affirmed, being all this, and then going back into a situation where you didn't necessarily feel that all the time?
It was like going into the sunken place. Because I love My alma mater. Oh my God, I love Alabama State University with my whole being, but oh my God, they have some work to do when it comes to making sure that all demographics of students are taken care of. And like I said, there should be no reason a trans woman should still be housed in male
Yeah,
housing.
that's
That's
ridiculous.
that's crazy. And it's just a lot of so that is when I went back from HRC. I actually did a safe space training with our
Okay.
in residence life department, like all of the housing directors, building directors, our housing director, our assisting housing director, as well as all of the housing office staff. I did a safe space training for them. We talked
Oh,
about
that's dope.
yeah, we did. We talked about the
Yeah.
man and what is the difference between sex and gender. We talked about terminology, so they learned what cis means and all that good stuff.
I think everybody should have that training.
Yeah, so the plan was for housing was like our little like tester
Little
to see
test run.
yeah, to see what we needed to work on, what we needed to add, and things of that nature. And the plan was for us to do it in other departments.
Yeah.
However, COVID rung out and just
Oh my gosh.
snatching
COVID
edges.
messed everything up. There were so many things that so many people had planned, especially that last semester. If people who were graduating in May or
Yeah,
whatever.
and I was graduating in May, and so it was just a lot. So,
Yeah.
but there was one thing accomplished before I did graduate, and it brought me to tears. We got our first um, gender neutral bathroom at ASU. And
Ah.
I'm gonna shout out two young ladies that I
Hmm.
love dearly. One's name is Jim Richardson, and the other one's name is Jay. I can't think of Jalen's last name, but Jim is the current SGA president for Alabama State University.
Okay.
Jalen is her vice president. At the time, they were in our Senate for SGA, and they came to me and asked me. They was like, what is it? That that y'all would need as far as the LGBT community on campus. Because we know and notice that y'all are really overlooked all the time when
Yeah.
it comes to certain things. And I told her, I said, I would like a gender neutral bathroom. She was like, wow, I never thought about it. And so when I explained to her, like there was times like I was about to pop or pee on myself.
Mm.
I could not go into the women's restroom. My mentor,
Mm.
Miss Kennedy, her name is Kamala Kennedy. She still works at ASU. She would literally go out and come with me to the bathroom and
Yeah.
stand in front of the door until I came out,
Uh,
just to make sure like nobody said anything or anything like that.
yeah.
So
That's
like,
so awesome. But then when you think about it, it's like, damn.
yeah, like it would be times I would run to my dorm to use the bathroom and just to feel comfortable, find a bathroom in there that was just one style, like it had a door on it. Because it's
Right.
tough. Let me tell you something. Going to HBCU, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's real tough. But they did have make a restaurant in our student center a gender neutral
Gender
bathroom.
neutral.
So
That's
those two
awesome.
ladies are now running SGA, and I will be forever grateful to them. Um,
It doesn't take much to do the right thing. I never
it
really
just,
understood that. I don't get why people feel like it's so necessary for them to just enact so many different unnecessary things that's just to basically to shit on people. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like why wouldn't, because that's something similar to what we were trying to do at state, but it fell through, and then COVID and everything, it just didn't happen. But yeah, like that's awesome because you never know who's on that campus that may be going through something, that's trying to figure themselves out, that wants to feel some level of comfort so that they can be their true selves. I never understood that, especially from an administration standpoint. If you want to bring more students in, if you want to make the students feel more comfortable, why not? What's it
so
gonna hurt?
luckily we had a vice president of student affairs who her name is Dr. Davita Haywood. She's currently at Johnson C. Smith now as their VP of
Okay.
student affairs. She left, but luckily we had Dr. Haywood. Dr. Haywood came from a very diverse background of schools. I think before she came to us, she came from Ohio State.
Okay.
University. And so when she came here, well, she came to Alabama at Alabama State University. She was like shell shocked that we didn't have a lot of stuff. And so she heavily funded.
Yeah.
To the point where she kind of gotten in trouble sometimes, but she heavily funded LGBT events. She made sure when we went to conferences like HRC and other conferences that we had what we needed and that we represented Alabama State University well. Because she knew that these were opportunities for us to bring back new things to our campus.
Right.
And that's what we did. We had our World AIDS celebration. I reactivated our LGBT student organization on campus, Amplify.
That's dope.
We now have the LGBT Resource Center. Like, I don't know what's the status.
That goes so far though. Like, yeah. I can't tell you how many people. I haven't been back
to visit because like
yeah.
COVID, like nobody's real like that. So. But I know
COVID. We ain't even thinking about COVID. Yeah, COVID done messed everything up. So
COVID just came through like a wrecking ball. But like, those were things that were being accomplished, that had been accomplished when I left, and I think I graduated and I was at peace with knowing that that the generation coming behind me had it a little better than I did. So
yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah,
and. Do you remember your first Pride?
So my first Pride was actually in Montgomery. I went to Montgomery Pride, and it was actually with my vice president. I was saying, like, we literally marched together in the Pride Parade.
Oh, y'all marched together?
Yes, I have a picture of us. Standing in front of the state capitol, because the state's capital is Montgomery and ASU is literally down the street from the state capitol. So we were literally standing in front of the state capitol, like taking pictures, like snapping it up and stuff like that. And we marched in the parade, and you had some students who challenged her, who it's so weird. It's all types of students, I guess, but you had some like heavy Christian students who were asking like Dr. Haywood if she knew Jesus, this, that, and the third.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, like bold. It was the gall for me. It was the gall for me. But yeah, they were asking Dr. Haywood if she knew Jesus because she was supporting her students in this.
Y'all aren't a Jesuit institution, right?
I don't think we're. If we are,
like y'all don't have to go to like services and stuff for your So what? They don't. Okay.
Maybe it's so much sin on that campus. Trying to thing.
Ooh, child. But how was that experience for you? The first time walking in a parade?
It was monumental. That was my first time walking and being seen actually as Desiree.
Oh my gosh. How was that? Like, take me back to that, because goodness, I'm just thinking about how that feels like. So before you go into that, there was this one during our cohort in 2018. So in the last night, there's like the awards ceremony. Mm-hmm. So there was someone in our cohort, his name is X, and at the time he was going by they them pronouns, and he got up in front of everybody and he was like, I've decided, like, from all of this love, from all of this affirmations, from all of this, that I'm now comfortable going by he, him pronouns. And when I tell you that room erupted in like, yes, we so happy for you. Like, yeah, that's dope. And then like, he just started crying. And I was like, you know what? I've never seen in real time someone feeling so in tune with themselves and so happy and affirmed and just overwhelmed with love and gratitude and all of these things, like to finally come into themselves from being denied their existence their entire life, from their family denying them, from their friends denying them, from everybody just denying them at every single point in their lives. And then finally, like, because of the love that you see that you felt from these group of people to let you know that, listen, you are loved no matter who you are, no matter who you love, like anything. And to see that, it was like a switch. It was like it just, I can't, that was incredible to me. So yeah, so take me back to when that happened, and that was you said that was your first time like really coming out as I'm Desiree and this is who I am. How was that? Take me there.
Um, I knew there I had to debut some way. And so transitioning is not only hard, but it's expensive. So you're talking about starting over from ground zero with a whole new identity and
Yeah.
having to find clothes to match this identity. It was expensive. So imagine me only had the only income I had was the money that my dad gave me as well as work study checks.
Right.
So I literally Ross and TJ Maxx was my best friend. And I couldn't always afford the nicest hair, the nicest bundles, or whatever the case may have been. Baby, I just went for what I knew, and so
Yeah.
my best friend gave me one of her wigs. I still have that wig, as a matter of fact. And she gave it to me, and that was my wig that I wore.
How did
And
that feel? How, like,
it felt comfortable, like it was like
yeah,
I was supposed to be doing.
right,
Easier to
right.
walk in that truth instead of
Performing in this other.
now, like people got on board. Like it was like
Yeah,
I don't even know the word to describe. It was just a great.
yeah.
My mom was in big support. Like she was just overly sad. And the way I told my mom I was transitioning was so funny. Um, I don't know if you remember the second season of Pose when Candy
Yeah.
it came to the funeral. So I asked my mom to watch that episode. And so she called me the next day. And so like me and my mom, we talk about everything. Like there's nothing that you can possibly tell her that she does not already know about me.
Hmm.
So she called me and she was like, hey, and I was like, hi. And she was like, I watched the episode of Pose. And I was like, oh, did you enjoy it? So I was like, what you think about it? She was like, I liked it. She was like, so is that something you want to tell me? And I was like,
Mm.
what you mean? She's like, you're transitioning, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. She said, it's okay. She said, I kind of figured it was coming. My mom always
Mm.
knew what was coming with me. And
Yeah,
she definitely seen me transition. She was just waiting on me to say something. But my mom is
right.
like a big support, making sure that I have my hormones and things like that.
Oh, hello. I think it. Hello. Can you hear me?
I can now. Can you hear me?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, what is going on? Hey, stop this internet.
Yeah.
But she was the GOAT. And so like my
Mm.
mom is definitely somebody I have to thank for getting me to this point. And also my brother. My
Mm.
brother, I thought he would have walked in by now, but he got me connected with different resources to get me started on my HRT therapy, and as well as other stuff.
Yeah.
Has been a rock of mine also. So without those two, I really don't know where I would be.
So if you could give the people that are listening or watching a word of advice or a saying or a mantra, something that you tell yourself every day, or something that you remember hearing that's helped you through your life, what would that be?
That it's okay to be selfish sometimes.
Mm, yes, it's okay to be selfish.
It is okay to be selfish when it comes to you, because through life I learned that I had put so many people before me,
Yeah,
and when I gotten done where they needed to be, there was nobody to lift me. And
right.
so that is when I started putting myself first. And I lost some friends for that. And it wasn't until then I realized, like, okay, well, maybe they weren't supposed to be in my life.
Mm,
Because when I started transitioning and things started happening, people started really, pulling away or falling off or whatever they may have. And I said, you know what, this is how I know who's supposed to be here. And the people who are still here with me, my village, are still here today. And
right.
I love them with every piece of me. But definitely my advice to people would definitely be to be selfish with yourself when it comes to
Yeah,
needs, your emotions, and your well-being. Put
I
yourself.
absolutely love that. Put yourself first. You got to. It's a skill.
Yeah,
I would say that's a skill. That's a skill that
a
I'm
special set of skills.
I'm working to learn too. But is there a book or a movie or song or something, a media, something that you have consumed recently or in the past that has really touched you and helped you, or that you just want to share?
I have started listening to a new artist, but I think everybody should have heard of her. Her name is Avery Sunshine.
I have not heard of her.
She has a album. Well, it's a composition album. That's what Apple Music said. But there is a album that she has, and it has a couple of meditation songs. But I
Okay.
can't remember if it was meditation number one or two. I'm finna see, and so I can give you specifically, so the people can go and listen.
All right,
Um,
bet.
Album is called. Okay, her name is Avery Sunshine. The album is called The Sunroom. So I listened to two songs off of there besides the obvious one, which is Call My Name. But there are two songs on there. One is called Meditation Number One, and it's called A
Okay.
Conversation with God. And then the track number 9 is Meditation Number Two, Conversation with Him, meaning
Mm.
like your man. And
Oh, okay.
Conversation with God. Oh my God.
Okay. Well, I'm going to listen to it after this, because
Yeah,
child
and
knows.
once you finish with your conversation with God, definitely tap on down to the conversation with Him.
All right, bet.
Really hot.
I love it. So, are there any lasting words that you want to leave the people before we go ahead and head out?
My advice or my little saying to them would be to continue being who they are, even if it makes other people uncomfortable or upset. Living your truth, walking your truth, and just do you. And
Yeah,
whoever is truly there to support you and who is truly there for you will remain. And those who aren't will definitely fall off like dead flies. So,
100%. 100%. That's the only way to be.
yeah.
Only
So
way to be.
that is my advice to the world. Right
Yes.
here, Desiree's living room.
Thank you again, Desiree, for coming on and speaking with me tonight. I love you so much. I always love, we need to talk more, but we'll
Yes.
get into that. Yeah. But I'm so happy that you're doing well. You got your man, you got your apartment, you got your little thing. Yes, I love it. But thanks again. And I'll link everything that she spoke of in the last part of this and where you can find her in the description. and you can go and find her and check her out because she's doing wonderful things, just like she talked about. So thank you, love, and thank you all. We'll see you on the
Thank
next
you for
one.
having me. This was an awesome experience.
Yes, this is great. We need to do that part 2 that we were talking
Well, we're
about.
definitely gonna do the part 2.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.